Right. Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here. I wanted to give you the heads up about the energies going on, why it's so crazy, why there's this big protest going on in the US and war and all that other stuff going on is because of the chart here. You can see the planet Mars down there at 28 degrees of Leo. That is almost at the very last, what they call the anaretic, the most critical degree of the zodiac, and on what was traditionally called the heart of the lion. Now, it is also exactly on President Trump's natal Mars, and on his ascendant. His natal Mars is very close to that. And also it's on Benjamin Netanyahu's natal Mars, which is at 26 degrees Leo. So these are the lion kings right here. So the protest against kings is kind of very apropos. But anyway, Mars right now is in a very tight 90-degree angle to the planet Uranus and Taurus. You can see that as well. Now, Uranus is also sitting on the fixed star Algol, the star of Medusa, the most dangerous star in the sky. So Medusa was, that's a patriarchal version. She was originally a beautiful Amazon warrioress, but of course the Greek myths are already patriarchal. They made her into a demoness, a monster. It's just, Perseus cutting off her head is just a symbol that they destroyed the matriarchies, right? Now, but she's fighting back, and so that's a good thing. So Mars in Leo, very strong heart, very strong will. Is this still going? It doesn't seem to be going, but okay. And then the planet Jupiter, newly in Cancer, where it's exalted, where it works very, very well for the whole next year ahead, from June the 9th until June the 26th, or June 30th, 26. Everybody who has planets in Cancer are going to benefit from Jupiter. America it will have its Jupiter return on July the 4th, on its birthday this year, which happens once every 12 years. Now, Jupiter is also squaring Saturn at 1 degree, and Neptune as well. But technically, they're both at 1 degree, right on the beginning of each sign of the cardinal signs. Saturn at 1 degree of Aries is very close to what's called the world point. The world point. The astrology world begins at 0 degrees of Aries in modern astrology, traditional astrology too, but going back further than that, the first sign of the zodiac used to be Taurus thousands of years ago, according to precession of the equinoxes. So Saturn and Jupiter are the balance planet. Saturn is the tough planet, the hard planet, the karmic planet. Jupiter is the great benefic. So when they square off, which they do every 3 years, as Jupiter moves to square to oppose to a waning square to conjunction, which happens again, like it's a 12-year cycle when they're together. Jupiter and Saturn came together on December 21st, 2020 in a very historic conjunction at 1 degree of Aquarius, which marks actually a big air sign domination for the next 200 years, and Pluto is moving back to that degree. Okay, Pluto is retrograde now where is Pluto right now? Pluto, the lord of destruction, of atomic energy. Pluto's at 3 degrees of Aquarius, moving retrograde, and Pluto will be retrograde until October 13th, 14th, when it goes back to that 1 degree. So even though Pluto and Saturn and Neptune are in this supportive aspect to each other, which is kind of rare, there's going to be more unusual aspects coming in. So Pluto in Aquarius, again, protest, revolution, freedom, chaos, uranium, nuclear energy. This is a very kind of dangerous, a lot of astrologers, including myself, have been predicting civil war in the U.S. starting again because of the alignments of the planets, because when Neptune entered Aries in 1861, the Civil War broke out within 1 day. Also, Uranus, the planet of chaos, freedom, new technology, will enter Gemini on July the 9th, and that was exactly where it was when the Civil War started as well. So again, can't mistaking the signs and the symbols. Mars in Leo, the sign of kings, queens, royalty, the heart. So it's very important that you lead from your heart. Now, your heart could be having palpitations. Your sleep schedule can be disrupted with Uranus energy squaring Mars. Mars is everybody's kind of life force. And then again, we just had the full moon at Sagittarius as well, still kind of coming out of that energy. Now, this chart is also set for tomorrow when these energies are exact. So they are exact. Mars squares Uranus at 5:47 a.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time, and Jupiter squares Saturn at 10:36 a.m. Also in the same time zone. This chart is set for Washington, D.C. It is June the 14th day. It is Donald Trump's birthday, so he's having a Mars return, which actually is a good thing. Mars on his ascendant is going to give him a lot of energy, but it's also dangers and anger and being drawn into drama. Big drama. Mars in Leo. So while Mars is in Leo before it enters Virgo, which Mars enters Virgo, when does Mars enter Virgo? Mars enters Virgo on June the 17th at 4:35 a.m. You know, the intensity, the drama is going to continue until Mars enters Virgo. It seems like Mars has been in Leo for a very long time, which it has been. Mars in Virgo will kind of ground things a little bit more. You know, I don't know if you noticed, there's not very many planets in Earth signs these days. In fact, Saturn's in Aries, that's fire. Neptune's with it in Aries, that's fire. Ceres is also in fire. Chiron's in fire conjunct Eris. That's also why things are extremely disruptive. That's a very, very rare transit that's been going on for the last month or so. It's basically the hallmark of 2025. Chiron conjunct Eris. Eris has a very, very long cycle. Mercury in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus, those are the only really grounded planets. Mercury moves very fast. The Sun at Gemini, conjunct the North Star, conjunct Betelgeuse, happening in the next few days. Jupiter exalted in Cancer. Mercury at 12 degrees of Cancer is right on the most beautiful fixed star in the sky. Sorry, that wasn't Mercury in Taurus. That was Venus in Taurus. Sorry. Venus in Taurus in her rulership. So women, sensuality, money, beauty, luxury, all of that's very popular. Mercury at 12 degrees of Cancer on the most beautiful fixed star in the sky, which is Regulus, which is exactly where the U.S. sun is. So the information, the merchandising, the marketing, the words, the communications is really directed from the U.S. sun right now, okay? The moon right now is at 13 degrees of Aquarius. At the moment that I took this shot a few minutes ago, Mercury and the moon are quincunx. They can't see each other. So the mood of the day is definitely, the moon is always the people. The mood in Aquarius is rebellion, protest, freedom. Iranians want freedom from the tyranny of the dictatorship, whether you like Israel or not, I'm just saying. So you can see the tense energy going on. The North Node at 22 Pisces is about completion. It's a karmic time. South Node in Virgo, that's the other Earth sign as well. What else have we got here? Juno at 18 Scorpio. On the most, traditionally, this is the most feared degree in the zodiac. 18 Scorpio. Juno is the feminine form of genius. Lilith at 8 degrees of Scorpio conjunct Vesta. So invest in your own independence. You know, Lilith was the first woman before Eve. She was very independent. She refused to submit to any outside and patriarchal influences, right? So the problem is not just temporarily Donald Trump. It is the whole patriarchal system. So look at the big picture. That's Pluto in Aquarius. What is the big picture telling us, right? So stay safe. You know, where you have these energies in your natal chart, if you have planets at late Mars and Uranus in late Taurus, or if you have planets at the beginning of Cancer and the beginning of Aries, you will feel the impact of this tension very, very personally, okay? Now remember, everything's always changing, but tomorrow, very intense day. It does happen to be on Father's Day, and Saturn rules fathers. So again, angry fathers, war, ignition, delusion, illusion, a lot of projections still going on with Neptune in Aries, right? But this is the wake-up call. People are starting to wake up from Neptune being in Pisces since 2011. We will go back into that energy in the fall, in September the 1st, when Saturn moves back into Pisces, and then Neptune will be back into Pisces. We have some finishing up to do in the fall up until February 20th, 2026, which is the big day when Neptune and Saturn meet at 0 degrees of Aries, okay? So the events from right now, because they're squaring Jupiter in Cancer, will be revisited again February 20th, 2026. Now, if you want to have a personal reading with me, I'd be very glad to help you and help you to find out how to navigate these very stressful times. So I'm sending you all the best blessings of the day. All right, take care. You can get in touch with me at tarottarot.com.